Hi everyone, it's Nikki here from Sex Positive People. I am just getting started with our 30-minute group call Orgasmic Clearing and Activation session. So just gonna wait for a few minutes until we have some more people online. I know there was a few people who said that they would join. While we wait, I might experiment with some masks because I think that's really fun. This one's pretty. Wait, what about bubbles? Whoa, that is super trippy. Oh, who's online? Okay, I'll stop playing games now and I'll come back. Hello. I don't know how to see who's online. Chris is here. Hi, Chris. Thank you for joining us. So while we're waiting for a few more people to join, if you're watching right now or if you're watching later, hi Justin, LSD overload. I know those faces were really trippy. No need for LSD, we have orgasm, everything is good. So today's session, hi Chris, hi Julian. Today's session, I really want to focus on connecting with the body. Hot now, because these live things make me nervous. Okay, connecting with the body. So while you're on the call today, if you're watching now or if you're watching later, I really want to encourage you to stay focused on your breath and your body. So focusing on the sensations in your body. So as you inhale, you're letting the air come down into your belly, expanding your belly, and with each exhalation, I want to encourage you to soften your jaw, let your face be loose, hi Thomas, and just let the exhale fall out of your mouth with an R sound. So you're letting the breath come down full into the belly without pushing, just softly. And then letting the exhale come gently out of the throat. So that's how I want you to focus your attention during the session, on your body, on your breath, noticing any sensations that move in your body. And this is just sort of a beginning awareness practice that's really potent for being present to orgasmic state. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about releasing the energy blocks and emotional blocks that get in the way of the flow of orgasmic or life force energy that moves through us. Hi Tony, hi Flores. And releasing those energies that block us from the flow of orgasm, of life force, of beingness, of the energy of everything that it is coming through us. And really allowing. So we're asking for it. Imagine that. I really want all of this beautiful energy to flow through me. I've asked for it to the point where I'm either putting attention and energy on myself or my partner is putting attention and energy in our sharing of whatever is creating orgasmic energy, and sometimes it's just the breath or our own touch. And then how much am I allowing that energy to actually flow through me and activate and be expressed? So that's some of the stuff we're going to look at today. First of all, I'm just going to set a little container. The call today is going to be about 30 minutes, and I've just noticed that I can't see the time while I'm on the call, so I'm going to look at the time over here on my iPad so that I can keep track of it. Look at me organizing myself. Yes. So the call's going to go for about 30 minutes. We're going to do some group clearing. So I just want to bring everyone's attention, and I also want to set some space up a little bit later during the call for you to ask questions, for you to bring up anything that you want an individual clearing on. I'm going to set aside about 10 minutes towards the ends and we'll do some individual clears for people. And often what I've noticed with when groups are in clearing energies, that the things that come up for one person are really beneficial for the group. So even if you're not on the call live right now and you're watching later, just to let you know that energetically, time is operating in a way that it's all right now for you if you're watching, and therefore you can participate in the energy clearing, you can feel the benefits of the energy clearing, and also that the resonance of what comes up usually has a thread that can be applied to most people's circumstance in some way or other. We're all very connected in the orgasmic field. So, so exciting. I wonder how I can see who's here. Oh, look, I can. Oh my God, Facebook is so clever. Oh, Maria can't hear me. Can everyone else hear me? I don't know. Can you guys give me some love hearts if you can hear me so that I know if Maria's the only one that can't hear me? Quiet mode. Okay, I hope you guys can hear me. I don't know the answer to this. I love technology, it's amazing. It's helping me talk to you guys right now, but I don't always know exactly how it works. Okay, I got some love bombs, you guys can hear me. Perfect. Maria, I'm not sure, I think the sound problem is at your end. So, the first thing I want to talk about is one of the major blocks for, and I'm just going to put the comments to one side for now because they're distracting while I talk about this, and I'm going to bring them back when I ask you guys to ask for stuff and make comments. I'll try and look at them whilst I'm doing the video. Whoa, multitasking. One of the most common and potent blocks to orgasmic energy moving through the body is shame. And that's located in the Chinese meridian system, in the metal meridian. And that's really a place where an external idea of culture, perhaps, or what our parents have taught us, or what we were experiencing when we were young, something in our behavior, our attitude, our energy field was somehow unacceptable to someone around us, tribe, let's call it, family, culture, whatever. Usually when we're a child, it's our immediate family. And they're operating within the bigger scale of culture. Says something's not okay, and that the love that you're used to receiving is removed in that moment. I've used this example before, but I'll use it again because it's a pretty potent and really good example. Say, for example, you've just been born, everything's amazing and beautiful, and everyone loves you. You're this shiny little new beautiful baby thing, and the joy bursting through your innocent little heart activates everyone around you, and there's no greater adoration than that of a newborn child, and that frequency of vibration is like super high vibration. Until the baby shits. Seriously. And maybe the first one, you're still in a loving vibration, you're really feeling it, but at some point, a little child experiences a situation where something that they gift to the world in a really primal, visceral, physical body way is too smelly, too disgusting, unacceptable, yuck. So our first shame arrives. And so this area of our body is a really deep holder, our deeper receptacles of the large intestine, holder of the shame energies. So what we're going to do now, if everyone is amenable, if you would like to participate, and I'm just going to assume if you're on the call now and you're watching it later, you want to participate. If you don't want to be part of an energy clearing, if you don't want to open yourself to the activation and release that's going to happen now, I would suggest you turn off because I'm operating. Whoa. Okay, that was me releasing whatever needed to be released there. Yeah, if you don't want to be part of the energy clearing right now, I'm just going to assume that everyone that stays online right now, watching it now or later, wants me to activate the field with them and that they want to participate in the energy clearing. Done my caveats. So, activating and releasing the energy of shame around sexuality specifically today, and the allowing of the pleasure of what orgasm is, allowing of the frequency of opening and receptivity that as a human you're deserving, you're worthy, and you are allowed to and designed to by nature experience the deep bliss of orgasmic state, that you open yourself to receive more of the energy that is there for you. So let's open those channels. So I want you to take any hand, it doesn't matter, and squeeze this juicy fat part in between your thumb and forefinger. Maybe you can see it better if I do that. Really push in that spot. So I want you to squeeze it pretty deeply. It's probably going to be a little bit uncomfortable. Leave your hands, like rest them in your lap so that your shoulders are relaxed. And I want you to take big deep breaths into your belly. And practice that breath. So breathing down into the belly and releasing the breath with a sigh. And all the time continuing to press on this spot. And really feeling into the deep layers of the way shame represses our true expression of ourself. So I don't know about you, but in terms of orgasmic state, our bodies do all kinds of things that we might not expect, that we might fear or be concerned that they're unacceptable or weird or wrong. We might make noises that are strange. We might move in ways that are unusual. We might be inclined to say or ask for something that we think we're not supposed to have for some reason. So there are all of these ways of supposed to, should be this way, supposed to do this or that, meant to look like this or that, meant to say this or that, all of the things. It's a big topic. So just breathing into all of the ways that you could release any shame that you are holding around sexuality, freedom, orgasmicness, even just opening to the breath and the energy. Even just acknowledging that there's shame around pleasure. You know, all the ways that we're told that life's meant to be hard and horrible and we have to push our way through, and it's, you know, hard. But orgasm's here to tell you that it's not meant to be hard, it's meant to feel good. And one last big deep breath in and out, and then just shake out the hands. So I'm just going to turn back on the comments right now, if I can, to see you all. How do I do that? I'm getting better and better at, oh, there you are. I'm getting better and better at using Facebook. Ian's online now. So I wanted to now have a talk about guilt. Can I speak louder? What I can do is bring the camera a little bit closer. Ian, you are hot. Thank you. Amazing. Oh, Maria, that felt so good. I'm so glad that that felt good for you. Sometimes the clears can feel a little bit uncomfortable, but I like to think of it like, you know, a little bit of uncomfortableness now makes a better experience later. As in an openness of self that allows more to come through. I'm just going to drink some tea. So now I want to talk a little bit about guilt, because for me, the way shame energy blocks us is preventative in a way. So the idea we've been shamed before, and therefore our system says, that's dangerous, that's a bad idea, don't do that again because you got shamed, you got excluded, you were somehow out of approval, and therefore it's bad, don't do it again. You don't want to feel like that. You don't want to feel like you don't have the approval of those around you. You don't want to feel like you're excluded from the love, because that's what we all want. We all want love and connection. And what I believe that we're not taught is the most potent form of love and attention is the love and attention we can bestow upon ourselves. And in that way, we open our own resonance to be loving with others. I've noticed in myself anyway, it's actually almost impossible for me to find an ongoing loving perspective towards others unless I have that for myself. And if I'm really honest, I rarely have it as consistently as I would like. And what I do know is that I have it consistently more now than I ever have before. So I attribute that to these kind of practices, energy clearing practices, and practices that focus on like building the energy. So right now, clearing energy is removing the blocks, and building energy is like the activation energy. So shame is the thing that happens before that prevents us from engaging in activities that we desire, that are pleasurable, and that allow us to experience more. And even during an experience, we can stop ourselves from having more by these shame feelings, or they get activated after a feeling as well. And then when they do get activated after as well, a shame feeling, so you'll be in an experience, you'll be enjoying it for whatever reason, and afterwards the expansion that you create with your pleasure and enjoyment can sometimes push past boundaries that we have about our beliefs. Wow, I really liked that thing that I didn't know that I liked, that I wasn't sure I was allowed to do, that, wow, that felt really good. Oh shit, I've actually gone outside my own range a little bit. And it's good to stretch that. It helps us grow. And sometimes I go, or anyone can go into what I would call sort of a shame spiral about it. And for me, and the pattern a lot of people have as well, is to attach that then shame to guilt. So I shouldn't have done that. So the shame is the reaction to like me potentially being excluded from the approval of others, and the guilt is, oh no, I shouldn't have done the thing because now it means I'm not good enough, unworthy, going to be punished, potentially, you know, excluded from God, whatever your beliefs are. A lot of people have a lot of programming and beliefs around feeling guilt after they've had some kind of enjoyable, pleasurable experience. Like the guilt is the payback, the consequence. Now I have to feel guilty, which is just not true. So I think it's really powerful to release those kind of energy signatures from the body, from the field, to come into more awareness about our own experience and what's really right and true for us, instead of acting from what we think is right or normal from the external culture. So, guilt is the lung meridian. So we're going to do a release on guilt. So I want you to take 2 fingers like this and just put them like, here's the bone of the shoulder. Just go in a little bit towards your chest, and there's 2 little squishy things underneath the kind of shoulder bone. There's the round shoulder bone. You just go in there. And just take maybe 2 or 3 big deep breaths here. Really letting the exhale move on this. Guilt is in the lungs, so the breath really helps move that. Really actually taking a moment to connect into how your body feels in those moments of guilt. What thoughts arise for you? I shouldn't have done that. Oh, this has happened before. Like, what's the program that's running? What are the beliefs that come through for you? Something for you to have a think about later. I am going to do some activation energies as well, but before I do that, I just wanted to check in if anyone has any personal requests for things they want cleared. You can ask anything you want if I can help you or have an answer, I totally will. Totally open to any questions about anything at all. It doesn't necessarily have to be about orgasm or sex or relationships. And those, I guess in this context, are my area of expertise. I do have some gifts around medical intuition as well. New relationships. Say more, Tom. What would you like to clear around new relationships? Thomas wants to clear new relationships. While he's telling us about this, about starting a new relationship. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make an assumption that this is about like an energy clearing of anything that might be blocking access to starting a new relationship, that it's too short a time from my last. Okay, got it. Well, that's a belief that there's a certain amount of time, for example, that's required before you're allowed to, or it's okay to start a new relationship. So you can hold that belief if you want to, but what I'm going to do is just check in with your field if there's any particular emotional resonances that are blocking your openness to start a new relationship. And I'm also going to set the intention that for others who are feeling this same energy, that the right sensations and activations and energies will flow to them for their own activation. So yeah, let me just do the energy clearing check on that. Fire, earth, metal, water, wood, gallbladder, resentment, impotence, depression. Okay, so depression energy is like a sense of heaviness. It doesn't actually mean that you're depressed in the medical clinician depression way. What it really is like an energetic flavor and signature of like deep holding back. Oh, I really want to actually look at the, give me a sec, I'm just going to look this up so I say the right thing, because it's really, really good. Right, super good. So depression is a heavy emptiness caused by suppressing the feeling. So imagine like you don't want to feel it, you don't want to feel it, you push it down, you push it down, you push it down, you push it down. You don't want to feel it, it's uncomfortable, you push it down right into the bottom of your belly, lower intestines. So we're going to do metal clear, lower intestines. You're going to rub this point in the finger and do some deep breaths through that. The lower intestines are really connected to the jaw, so if you can move your jaw around a bit in this clear, take some deep breaths. If anyone experiences that sense of heaviness and repressed emotions, this is really, really good clear. It's quite activating as well, this kind of release, because when you open the energetic signature of depression, what has space to arise are the feelings that have been suppressed. And I guess there's some fear around opening that up, because sometimes things that we don't want to look at arise to be looked at. And you know, that's part of the journey, the pathway, I believe, is to give ourselves more access to subconscious. So a lot of these energy clearings are really about opening the avenues of the subconscious, releasing the things that are in the way of us seeing and feeling ourselves with more clarity. One big last deep breath. Okay, good. And shaking out the hands. And a question around that, because I like to ask activating questions after clears. So my question around that is what emotions that need to arise will you be able to see after you release the depression you've been creating? So like what new emotions, what access that you haven't had before to yourself, to the idea of a new relationship with yourself, which is what opens when you access a new relationship with someone else. It's a fresh mirror. Thank you. I'm so sorry. Yes, Yeshua, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I'm just going to read your comment here about closing with women. I either don't close and wander off or do and do a bad job. Well, Yeshua, I'm going to keep saying it like that. I hope it's right. I either don't close and wander off or do and do a bad job. So what part of you actually doesn't want to close is what I want to ask you there, because if it's happening, then a part of you wants that outcome. So it's like you've got opposing vibrational frequencies running. I really want to close, I really want it. Another part of you that may be in your subconscious, oh, I don't want that. We can do a clearing on that. It's a tricky one, keeping the vibe right, bringing the predator energy in. Okay, yeah. Perhaps a clearing, perhaps some advice on how to follow that intuition. Right. So yeah, it's the same thing, is that both of those are running congruently, and there's a way that you see them as opposing energies. So let's first of all look at the part of you that doesn't want to close. Let's see what energy signatures running in that place. Fire, earth, metal, lung, legend, intestine, dogma, guilt, shame, spite, vulnerability. So while I'm talking about that, I want you to do the energy clearing. So that's vulnerability, large intestine again. A lot of the sexual stuff is in this area, just to let you all know. There's a lot of clearing to do there. Deep breaths while you rub quite vigorously on that point. Vulnerable. So what part of you feels vulnerable about receiving the intimacy that will arise in the close, let's call it, and maybe having a conversation with that part of you. Maybe there's a way that you might have your predator energy moving faster than the other parts of you that maybe need a little bit more sensitivity. There's a way that our wholeness really communicates with integrity and like an intent that feels good and present. So if you're split and your mind is doing different things, a woman women are generally quite sensitive to this, will feel something's off. So, you know, she might also be playing in with you in the place where you're not quite sure you want it, or you're pulling back for some reason from that. And the energy that's come up is vulnerability. So like, where are you not able to hold your own vulnerable self in that place, and that maybe you don't want to be seen in your vulnerability and connection. I don't know if these things are true for you. If they are, good. If they're not, I really want to bring your attention to them. How to follow the intuition is really about listening to your body. So in the place where there's an incongruency, I want to encourage everyone to slow down. So if a part of you is saying no to something and a part of you's like, yeah, I really want it, be like, okay, I can hear you, part of me that really wants it, the predator maybe. Hang on a second, predator, are you leaving other parts behind? So maybe you want more slow, intimate connection, your whole being, versus the predator who just wants to take, eat, ravish. And there's so much place for that energy as well. I imagine that there's also potentially some fear around how the predator will be received. You know, a lot of women haven't opened their receptivity enough to feel safe in themselves around predatory energy. There's a lot of stuff there, especially at the moment. Thank you. I'm glad those were good words for you. So I'm going to do one more clear, because we've just hit 8:30, and it's going to be Maria's question here. I would like to clear the shame to start a sexual relationship, to be seen in my desire. I feel that I still feel resistance of feeling my own desire. Amazing. Great question. Yes. so common because we have so much programming in our culture that it's not okay, especially for women, to have desire, that somehow that would make us a harlot, a slut, a wanton woman. You know, it goes right back to like Eve in the garden. There's so much like mythology around it. Was it? Oh, Shakespeare wrote about it. Like, it's huge in our culture. Yes, let's do some clearing around that, because everyone can benefit from that. Men and women alike, owning our desire, really stepping into the place where I feel okay with my desires, I let myself have them, and I feel good about asking for them, and I'm actually even okay to receive a no from someone who doesn't want to meet me there. It's like a whole next level of relating, and it's fucking beautiful, and I want everyone to have it. So, yeah. That's a fire energy, small intestine, triple, warmer, hope, resilience, lightness, muddled instability, service, balance. Yes. Okay. So balance energy is, I'm going to double check this because I want to get it right for you guys. And even though I'm really smart, I have not memorized all of the definitions of all of the emotions. I'm working on it. Yeah, homeostasis, okay. So for me, that sense of balance in this context, and while I'm talking, I want you to rub on the points. So they're underneath the ribs, there's like the V shape of your ribs, and so there's like a squishiness under here. It's sort of like digging your fingers underneath your ribs. It's gonna feel kind of uncomfortable. No one likes this clear, it's actually pretty horrible. But go into it. Take some deep breaths. Turn the ribs around. Dig the fingers under. No one can hear you. Breathe it in, breathe it out. And allowing the balance to move through you of feeling your desire, being okay with your desire, and sometimes knowing that you can't have all your desires right now. Because if you had them all right now, you'd probably explode. So really, like, our desires come to us when we're ready to receive them. So the thing about this balanced energy is like how much harmony is going on for me in my vibrational field so that I can receive the allowing of my desires. I hope that makes sense. There's a place inside of this where desire energy is really big, and it can become, if not well tended, kind of graspy when it leans in the direction of scarcity. I have so much desire and it's not being fulfilled, and why can't I have it, and what's wrong with me? Like, all of these thoughts and energies come up. Those are out of balance, out of harmony, because when we feel good in our bodies and we allow ourselves to receive everything that's here right now, then we open ourselves to receiving more of our desires in the future. So there's a lot of conversation here about opening to new relationships and expressing sexual desires. So what part of you is in resistance to those things? What do you fear that would happen if, say, in your next relationship that you opened into, you could be even more allowing of who they are, what they want, even more allowing of yourself, who you are, what you want, and open a place of trust in that connection and communication that says desire is okay. So if you can imagine that the next person or relationship that you attract is in perfect alignment with who you are right now. And just know that you have that, and you can have that, and you do deserve that, and you are worth that. And anything that says that you can't is false. Anything that you said that says that you can't is an external pressure, an external qualifier. Your intrinsic worthiness is the beacon, is the magnet. So my internal magnet that says these are my desires, this is what I want, these are the relationships that I hope and wish for. I liked this about that relationship, I like that about this person. So the more I focus on those things, making the desire okay, the more space I open, the more I can release the things that are in the way. I open myself to that receptivity. We've gone a few minutes over, so it's been so fun to talk to you today. And what I'm deciding to do, because this is so fun and I totally want to give myself to you guys in this way, I'd like to open this up to be I think a weekly call, unless something happens that means that I can't. But for now, I'm going to offer a weekly call. So what I'd really love is if you have questions that you want to post or ask for, just ask for them in the group and tag me, and I can put them on my list of things to talk about in the next call. If you have felt an appreciation for today's session, I'd love you to leave a review. There's like a review button on our Sex Positive People page. If you would like to do more work on orgasmic clearing and activation with me personally, you can send me a private message. And that's all. I hope I covered everything for you guys that we talked about today. And have a beautiful evening. And may you be blessed with the full flowing orgasmic bliss that is your true nature. May you release all energies, emotions, and perspectives and beliefs that you're ready to release and that no longer serve you. And yeah, thank you for being here today, right now. And also, if you watch it later, please do also feel free to comment, to ask questions, or to let me know how you're feeling. Oh, Maria sent me another message. Thank you. And it's so interesting that I meant to say sexual desire, but when you talk in general, I can see that actually I hold back to all of my desires. And yes, it's clearly related to worthiness. Thank you, Bella. Oh, yay. I'm so happy that that was resonant for you. Okay, I love you guys, and I will see you next week. Mwah! Same time, same place.